From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of Mornings LALATE, live and direct from Santa Monica, California, with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In today's recording, we go over the breaking news that the recon will get passed in the month of January with some changes. That the messaging today is mixed between different legislators and the president saying different ways to make the changes. I'll go over the new statements that came in overnight from the President of the United States, from Nancy Pelosi, from Pramila Jayapal, and from Leader Schumer, and even the man himself, Joe Manchin. The recon will pass in the month of January and will go for a vote in the month of January, and Senate changes will be robust. So which provisions will likely survive and which will not? So far, the checks in this entire recon pay you a lot of money, upwards of at least $15,000. Biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel. I'm going to go over all of those checks in this incredible recon. Then we're going to turn back to third stimulus. This is your Christmas stimulus. This is your holiday stimulus. Viewers are on average are getting $5,000 this week, last week. This is money you can get right now. And viewers are cleaning up with upwards of 46 months of rent and more money across the board as well. I'm going to show you how to get these incredible sums of money in your wallet today. This week, it's third stimulus. Then we turn to the incredible details that's unfolding with that student loan debt forgiveness offer from the White House and fifth stimulus as well. What's going on with that student loan debt forgiveness? And then what is going on with that COLA raise on January 1, the impact on your SNAP and fifth stimulus, and then the impact on the variant with the U.S. economy. I'll have the new analysis today of what we're looking at on economic growth in view of the latest details that came in overnight from the CDC with Omicron. Now, the number one dominant strain in the United States, going from 30% to 70% of all U.S. cases in just 1 week. Those details and more, plus my analysis at the very end of this video, and the debut of a show. It's been a lifetime in the making, and it showcases tonight in preview. What is that show? It's here. It's on LA, and I'm going to tell you what it is coming up later in this video. But boy, a very exciting day is that we have new indications of where this recon is going to become a law and how it's going to become a law. All those details and more coming up right now. Something's already crashing. It's the start of the day. It's something crashing. It was all the extra bacon you delivered me overnight. Those details and more as we go into a big morning's broadcast. And the excitement starts right here, right now, direct and live from Santa Monica. And here we go, my friends. Here we go. That recon will be passed in the month of January, so says the Democratic leaders, and we call for a vote. In fact, Joe Manchin says that as well. Wow, what happened? Of all the latest details, the Senate changes that are going to be coming, which provisions are likely to fall out, which provisions are likely to get gutted, and which provisions are likely to get added. MSC. We're going to go over all those incredible details of this recording. The programs so far pay at least $15,000. I'll go over what they are and how you get them. Then, of course, we're going to turn to the big exciting details as third stimulus is still paying out viewers a lot of money. Average checks the viewers are getting is $5,000 after they got $45,000 earlier this year. And I'm going to show you how to get more of this money if you haven't gotten it and more of it if you already gotten it. Then we're going to go to that student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that student loan debt forgiveness, what you need to know across the board, plus the breaking details about that fifth stimulus, how that fifth stimulus is going to come on in right after that COLA raise, and what is that COLA raise's impact on your SNAP benefits and more. All those incredible details as we go into a big day. I'm excited you're here. But first, go under this video and become part of this family by subscribing. I want you part of this incredible family by subscribing now to the #1 most watched channel of this kind in the United States. Hit that subscribe button. Be part of this incredible family by subscribing under the video and signing up to become a member. The membership link is also under the video. By becoming a member, you get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system. You don't want to miss a single video across the board. Meantime, also sign up for the LA alerts. That is also free. It is under the video's description. And with that, let's go right into this incredible recon that is going to become a law in the month of January. The Democrats still represent today. How are they going to get it done? Where they're going to get it done? And all the details we're getting to in just a second. But first, let's go over what the checks are so you know about the payouts. At least $15,000 of checks in this incredible recon across 3 clusters and 3 add-ons. Let's go over each of them starting right now. Cluster number 1 got in there, hazard pay. Earned income tax credit for 1 more year from my essential workers. $4,000 of elder care, got it in there. $4,000 of care for young children, got it in there. The CTC, the child tax credit, which is upwards of $3,600 for 1 year, got it in there for low-income families. They got in there the Pell Grant, college students, $550 checks. And then they got in there the money to repair your home if you live in a low-income community. Finally, they got in there the $12,500 if you want a new electric car. Perhaps helpful for Joe Manchin because he says Pete doesn't like people following him around protesting his car. So if you drive an electric car, they won't hear you coming. Good suggestion, Joe. Pass the recon, electric car, no one will hear you coming. They won't protest you. Let's go to the first add-on of checks. It got in there via the illustrious Maxine Waters here in Southern California. She wanted to give you this money. And what is it for? Well, it is money to go buy your first home. Wow. She wanted to give you $25,000 because guess what? It's expensive to buy homes here in Los Angeles. But you got a little bit less. And how do you get this incredible sums of money? It's coming up later in this video. Let's go to the second cluster of checks. Wow. They got in there home repairs and paid leave. They also got in there the universal pre-kindergarten. And then they got in there the weatherizing your home. Weatherize your home. You have to be in that holiday spirit. No. Weatherizing your home is to ensure that the roof and the windows can sustain natural disaster, which is basically every Sunday when Joe Manchin appears on Fox News. There we go. Let's go to the second add-on of checks that comes from the illustrious Bob Casey. He got it in there. President want to give it to you. And what is it? It is free money. It is a covered benefits. What is this covered benefits for? Seniors and people on disabilities to get free home health care. Incredible. He wanted to give you $250. He got a little bit less, but still, it's still incredible. Let's go to that third cluster of checks where we see a lot of money across the board, including money for seniors or benefits for seniors and free internet. Here we go. Well, in this third cluster, we find the deliciousness. Cheaper prescription medication, free school meals for all checks, immigration reform removed by the parliamentarian. They got in there the free internet, the money for the farmers, then the independent contractors, and then the seniors. The seniors getting really great benefits. What happened? Well, House members got 2 provisions in there. Senators vowed to add 3 more. House members expanded Medicare by including hearing and doing the Medicaid gap fix for my seniors. Senators vow to add 3 other provisions, which are dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare, which is consistent with what we're looking at when we're talking about the rest of this recon, because guess what? The senators have still not added their stuff in yet because the Joe Real Housewives of West Virginia reality TV show was going on for 2 weeks. So I haven't had time to add anything of their stuff in there, let alone, of course, this excitement of that MSC, multiple IRS stimulus check. And it will go in there, so says the senators. When we talk about an MSC, what are we talking about? It stands for multiple IRS stimulus check. Now, this recon, understand, has lots of checks, many checks, multiple checks in there. We use the word MSC to separate, distinguish it from that, and that would be sent out by IRS. Back in the month of May, thousands and thousands of viewers of this channel were told by 6 senators' offices it would go in there. And 2 weeks ago, we re-advocated to the 6 senators, and they said once again it's going to go in there. When we talk about this, they say $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for upwards of 6 months. And they talk about the same eligibility as a third stimulus check. Who got that third stimulus check? Let's recap. Third stimulus check, $75,000 less, single individual, got it. Married couple, $150,000 less, got it. Double it. Family of 4, got it. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, got it as well. Third stimulus check was not income. It's not taxable. It was given to adult dependents. And that third stimulus check was offered across all U.S. states. It's not state stimulus. It's federal stimulus. Now, when we look back to the last 2 weeks, when the legislation landed in the Senate, I said time to re-advocate, and boy, did you do well. And what happened with viewers? Janet was told by Leader Schumer's office it's going in there via Bernie Sanders. Same message delivered by Liz Warren's office to Len Glenn. Same message delivered to Bonnie from Bob Casey's office. Same message delivered to Ron Wyden's office to viewer Donnie and his wife Sharon. Same message delivered as well to Tyrell from Chris Coon's office across the board. And that's why it's important for you to advocate for that MSC, because guess what? The tow truck has passed over the finish line. The tow hitch is attached to the tow truck, and it's at the edge of the finish line, but not over it just yet. And the chief of staff to the number one guy on that recon says, advocate until we are over the finish line, and we are just on the edge of it. And the month of January is going to be all about negotiations, removing provisions, adding provisions, taking provisions out, putting provisions in. And so no time and place to say this recon is tied up in a bow. It is not. It is still a work in process with provisions being added in there, and they should add in your MSC. And with that, you need to advocate to them. The chief of staff of that number one guy on the recon says, keep on calling until we're over the finish line. They now have a total between congressional and senators' offices see more context of advocacy for the LA Purple Power than the number of signatures in the American petition. Everyone's amazed by the outpouring of touching stories. Now they have a better understanding of what Americans are going through this heartbreaking stories and the voice of the people across the nation, you LA, as you have become too loud to be ignored. Please continue your encouragement for the continued advocacy, a professional voice of the people you have become until this becomes law. So who do you advocate to? Who are the senators you should be advocating to? And remember, you don't want to use the word MSC, use simple words across the board. You want to advocate to those 6 senators. And their names are Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Pick up the phone and speak to their staff. Tell them why you need it, why your family needs it, why your community needs it. And again, they are Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Overnight, we learned from Dr. Fauci that Omicron is now the dominant strain in the United States, growing from 3% of cases in the United States last week to 70+% of the cases in the United States now. We still do not know if the booster is effective against Omicron, and we already know that 2 vaccination shots is somewhat effective, but not completely effective. That's why it's important for you to re-advocate for your wallet. Today, don't wait. And get that third stimulus. In the second half of this video, I'm going to show you how viewers are getting on average about $5,000 of checks in their wallets, in their pockets today, last week. This is your Christmas stimulus. It's great news. It's absolutely incredible. And I'm going to show you how to get more of this money later in this video. Stay with me. Lots of checks. Get your pen and paper ready. We're going to turn over that student loan debt forgiveness, the offer on the table, then fifth stimulus, and that COLA raise and its impact on your SNAP, all coming in January 1. A lot of questions you've been asking. I'll be answering them as well. But after the commercial break, you're going to see a really long, extended detail of what happened overnight. There's a lot of stuff that's happened overnight. I told you 7 days ago, don't miss a single recording, don't miss a single day, don't miss a single hour. Boy, the stuff that came in overnight is huge. Senate changes, yeah, this is also huge. And the recon, how it's going to become a law, also really huge. It's all coming up in the second half of this video. Meantime, after the commercial break, I'll give you the insight about a very, very brand new, exciting show coming to this channel. You're going to see it tonight on Preview. What is that show you're going to see tonight on Preview? It's coming up after the commercial break. See you back in 60 seconds.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica. on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now in the second half as our recon will pass in the month of January. Incredible great news with the Senate changes going to be robust. I'll explain all the details in the second half. The incredible programs, detailed, one check at a time. Get your pen and paper out. I'm going to show you which program's staying in there, which going out. Then we'll be turning back to third stimulus, the big cash day payout for the viewers of this channel. I'll explain the latest on this recording. Student loan debt forgives, every detail you need to know, plus that COLA raise, its impact on your SNAP, and that fifth stimulus coming right behind that. Plus the preview of a new show coming to this channel and my analysis of everything that happened overnight. As one viewer said during the commercial break, if they want to get it done, why don't they just vote on it this week? Well, they don't all want to get it done just yet. Let me explain to you why. It's coming up right now. But first, go right into this video this moment and subscribe. I want you part of this incredible family. Become part of the #1 most watched geopolitical news channel in America, #3 financial news channel overnight. Overall, in the United States. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member to get that incredible newsletter that comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system. And meantime, get ready for the second half, and that excitement starts right now, and here we go. Well, the recon really heating up like a plate of bacon. And in a fascinating way. Here is what you need to know. First of all, it was no less than a week ago that I said to viewers, do not miss a single day or hour of this channel because you're going to miss a lot. And for viewers who tuned in this weekend, thank you because you saw everything. For viewers who tuned in yesterday, thank you because you saw everything unfolded. So I'm going to go right into where we are right now. To that one viewer who said the commercial break, why aren't they voting this week? Clearly missed the recordings from this weekend. And I want to congratulate Tiffany Myers, a brand new Purple Hawk who just became a member in the live chat. Everyone welcome Tiffany Myers into this community. She just became a member. What's brand new today? Brand new just minutes ago is we now have several, at least 4 different approaches about how to get the recon done in January. Approach number 1, brand new today, from Pramila Jayapal, who's had the Progressive Caucus in the House. She says the way you get it done in the House is you don't negotiate with Joe Manchin at all. Oh, interesting. That's not going to work. Number 2, second approach is that the President of the United States, unbeknownst to us, we learned just a minute ago, reached out to Joe Manchin shortly after Sunday Fox News interview aired early in the morning on the East Coast and spoke to Joe Manchin, and the conversation went very well. Joe and Joe get along very well, and they agreed to continue to negotiate on the recon. Very good. That's the messaging now of the White House. Number 3, the messaging now of Nancy Pelosi, brand new today, is do what you want to do in the Senate, but leave everything that the House passed in there alone. That's not going to work either because there's clear problems in the recon that are not even Joe Manchin problems. They're White House problems, and Nancy Pelosi rubber stamped them. I'll explain those in a second. Number 3, we now know today more about what Joe Manchin wants removed. And what is it? Well, first of all, we now know he does want to give the CTC tax credit to young children for 1 year, but he does not want to do it the way it's written for 2 reasons. 1, the reason I've detailed on this channel for over 6-7 months. The White House, with tricky language, took a recon that was supposed to be providing a 1 year of checks to young children, $3,600, and wrote it in a way that'll pay them out for 10 to 20 years. Joe Manchin says, I'm not doing 10 to 20 years. Number 2, Joe Manchin has already said this as well over the last few months, that he wants to ensure that whoever takes care of the child, for example, the adoptive parent or the grandmother, if the parents are incarcerated, they get the check. He says the language has not been fixed. He's asked for the language to be fixed. Second, we know that he wants paid leave out of there, and that position is still the same. Other than that, the good news out of Joe Manchin today is that his latest comments since the Fox News interview is he wants to do the recon, that there's certain provisions need to be fixed, and he's asked for the provisions to be fixed. Now, let's step back just for a second here. I've been talking about these provisions for months, and they do need to get fixed. And the White House has some stubborn staffer who's not removing the provisions wording that is incorrect. Let's understand, this recon was originally supposed to be 20 years. Then it was 20 years at $7 trillion. Joe Manchin said, no, I'm not doing 20 years at 7 trillion. Then they reduced it to 3 years, 10 years at 3 trillion. He said, I'm not doing 10 years programs. I'll do 1 year programs. So they reduced it to 1 year programs at 1.7 trillion. He said, no, it's not 1 year programs. It's window dressed as 1 year programs that will run for 20 years. And I've been making this recording since the summer. I said, guess what? I have the programs in front of me. And the new statement from the White House says they'll run for generations to come. They're life-changing. They're permanent. They are changing an entire household for an entire generation. I said it's 12 months. Either it's 12 months or you're misrepresenting it. And you look at the language, they are. So they are using quick tricky language, and they are trying to make the programs run a generation, not 12 months. So that is where he wants to make those fixes, making sure the right person who takes care of the kid gets a check. There's nothing wrong with that. So that is the third approach. The fourth approach was the one we advocate on this channel back last Wednesday, and we got it. Hashtag Chuck Call the Vote. Hashtag Chuck Call the Vote. A campaign started by this channel last Wednesday, a social media campaign, and we won again. We won again. I started the campaign when I saw that there was a problem with Chuck Schumer scared to call a vote and have the bill fail. I said, you should be scared of failure. Failure helps because you figure out what it is and you fix it and then you pass it the right way. And guess what? Yesterday, Chuck Schumer said, we're calling the vote. We're calling the vote. Why is calling the vote helpful? Series of reasons. Number one, before you call the vote, you have a Senate floor debate. And during that Senate floor debate, which will broadcast on Broadcast News and C-SPAN and certainly on this channel, you're going to see debate. And debate is sort of like having a dinner and talking with family members and arguing about stuff. Joe Manchin's going to say, I don't like the CTC because you wrote it to run 20 years. I'll do 1 year. And guess what? The American people will see it and realize, I don't want to give children 20 years of checks. I don't want my taxes paying for 20 years of children's checks. If Joe Manchin's correct, the White House needs to fix it. And the press is going to pick it up. I've been running the story for 6 months. And they're going to say, Joe Manchin's right. You need to fix the language. And the White House will go fix the language because they will be on the spot. The language was wrong, and Joe Manchin exposed them, showcased it on primetime news when this airs, and he's going to show it. You wrote it wrong, and you did it deliberately. And you kept it in there after I told you to fix it, and you refused to fix it. That's the first thing. Second thing, it'll get Joe Manchin locked down to a position. The number one problem with Joe Manchin, I'm going to detail this a lot later this afternoon on Afternoons LALATE, is that Joe Manchin's worst trait is delay. He has said since the spring, give me more time, pause, think about it, maybe, sorta, okay, maybe, hoo-ha. No. You don't do it that way. You don't do it that way. And you're going to see me on Afternoons LALATE talk about today what Nancy Pelosi did so well in the House, which was when she saw the moderate Democrats playing that game with her. Where they said, we might vote for the recon if you pass the roads and bridges. She said, no, we're not going to do a might. You know what I'm going to do? This is what Nancy said, and she got it. She said, I'm going to get you to raise your hand on TV and say, yes, I will do this when this happens. I'm going to have you write it out in longhand, sign it, put it into the House record, congressional record, and then we'll actually have a vote that says, I vote by amendment that I will do this at a later date. She locked them in and put away the keys, so there was no way for them to wiggle out of this agreement. That's how Chuck needs to do it. Joe Manchin today says, if you remove some things and modify things, I might, I may, I sorta, I probably. No, Chuck, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. If the guy wants to do it, you lock him down to an actual yes by having him raise his hand. Number three, it gets Joe Manchin to say what are the problems that he has and for them to fix it. Paid leave. He doesn't want paid leave in there. It's likely to come out. And so paid leave, he wants to come out to go by bipartisan support. Now, this may put him on the spot because the Democrats are going to say, we want paid leave, you want paid leave, Joe Manchin, but we don't have enough Republicans. Chuck, can you call the vote among the Republicans who want to do paid leave? Let's do an amendment vote for paid leave by amendment. See if do we have any Republicans. Oh, I see 0. Okay, Joe, that's the problem. There is no bipartisan path for paid leave. So if you want it, you keep it in there. The last way to get this done is really to modify and modify well. A lot of opportunities for the Senate to modify, and I've been detailing this channel for months. First, they can modify the language before they call the vote. Now, again, you want to do it quick and fast. The Mitch McConnell, slow, kill the bill way to do it is what Joe Manchin's talking about. Put it into subcommittees of the Senate. Well, it'll die in the subcommittees. It'll never come out of subcommittees. We're not going to fall for that. We're not doing that. Chuck Schumer won't fall for that trick. Number two, you modify things on the floor before you call the vote. Number two, you call the vote, and then maybe it fails. Then you go back or you caucus them, which is different than voting. You say, let's just ask you, and we have 49 yeses, and we have this many no. Then you come back and modify it. Finally, you call the vote. If it fails, you do 2-day vote-a-rama. It's pretty straightforward how to get it done. Now, why is it important to get it done this way? Is because a vote is different than a Fox News interview. A Fox News interview, when you're appearing in the comfort of a studio, in a studio of coffee and tea, or appearing in a Zoom chat where you're in the comfort of your home, or writing op-ed, which is emailing and sitting at writing at the beach and emailing over. It's just very comforting. You put someone in an uncomfortable position, which is a debate where Bernie Sanders, everyone else is going to ask Joe, what's the problem? Explain to us the problem. He's going to have to explain the problem, and they're going to have to fix it. They think it's just him. It's not just him. It's the White House and someone who's stubborn else in this group. There's someone in the White House who wrote language deliberately misleading, and then when caught, won't fix it. And then there's other Democrats who have asked for too much and won't make concessions on the provisions. Climate should be gone. Climate should be gone. It's $550 billion. It's 40% of the recon. It shouldn't be in there. The issue with climate, when you talk about climate, is that the White House wants to pass climate legislation so it can go into international meetings, climate meetings, to say the United States passed a climate agreement and we are on board with world leaders for climate. That's not the message if you do it by recon and you shove it down the throats of Republicans and Republican states. No, that means you used a procedural trickery to pass it when 50% of the legislature didn't want it. Is that sound a good message to foreign leaders? No. They're going to say, you had 50% of your Congress did not want to pass it, and you pushed it through a backdoor means. The climate should go by bipartisanship, and I don't buy it that Republicans aren't against climate. I just don't buy it. And let's go into the incredible provisions in this incredible recon. Then I have more commentary later in this video. But those incredible provisions, this recon, we'll go over which are still in there and which are coming out and which ones will get modified. Incredible details across the board. And it starts right now. So the paid leave in there, but you saw already in this recording, it is likely a potential casualty to come out unless they show Joe Manchin that there are no Republicans that want to do paid leave. Again, paid leave is one of these many, many checks that are in this incredible recon. How much does it pay? So paid leave pays a lot, $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. $35,000 annual salary, it's $800 a week. If you make $15,000 annual salary, it's $400 a week. All income levels, all types of workers. If you don't work but live with your son or daughter, they get the check to take you to the doctor once a week. Now, here's what's important to know is that the paid leave can stay in there if Chuck shows to Joe Manchin, we don't have any Republicans to vote for paid leave. And then it would stay in there. Next check that got in there is the SALT cap. Increasing the amount you can deduct on state and local taxes from the federal tax return from $10,000 to $72,500. Wow, it's incredible, great news. And this is huge. They got $40 billion of free job training in there in that incredible recon. And then they got in there the Medicaid gap fix, huge. It'll provide low-income, uninsured people in 12 Republican holdout states a private insurance that's subsidized for years to come. Incredible details across the board. Then we get best provisions of entire recon. It's the housing. That pays you a lot. $150 billion over 6 programs, with 3 that are new, which are Weatherize Your Home, first-time home buyers, and home repairers, and 3 that'll look very familiar. They are from third stimulus, rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. And the great news, you don't have to wait for fourth stimulus to become law. You can get it today from third stimulus. And wow, here we go. Viewers of the weekend have absolutely been laser focused on this, and I'm so excited for you. What's going on? When third stimulus passed, I said, I can get you 15,000. I got viewers on average 45,000. But 2 weeks ago, I understood that people needed money. So I brought it back in the equation, and this is what viewers have gotten in the last 2 weeks, and you can as well. Average is $5,000, 4 to 6 months of rent, and 2 utilities. The low end is $2,300. The high end has been $138,000, but it's really hovered around $5,000. What's at issue? Back in December 2020, it was a year ago this month, people needed money. And I stepped forward and got viewers $250,000 for rent and this money when there wasn't a lot of it from first stimulus, very little of it. We were waiting for second stimulus, and this was the residue of first stimulus. And then at the time I saw a body of legislation come across my table, an exclusive on this channel. I said, this is next year. I think I'm going to call this third stimulus. I coined the expression, and I said, I think I can get you about $15,000 in there. Well, when it became law, viewers had learned the skills from December, from getting into December. They applied them for third stimulus, those skills, applied those skills, and they got average of $45,000 from third stimulus. 2 weeks ago, we understood that there would be no fourth stimulus in our hands before Christmas. So I said, you need money to pay your bills. And so I stepped forward and I said, I don't think you know this. You can get more third stimulus. And viewers said, I didn't know this. First, if you got to third stimulus early this year, you didn't know you can get another round. What is a round? More about that in a second. Number two, if you never got this third stimulus, you thought you couldn't get it again. You can. So let's go over all those incredible details of this money right now. And we're starting with the rent. And wow, it's exciting. Rent has gone up a lot. It was $20,000 to $30,000 3 months ago. And viewers now are getting upwards of $40,000 of rent. Let's look at the graphic. Wow, that was 3 months ago. Is now upwards of $40,000. So where do you get this money? You're going to get it from 6 places. Get your pen and paper out. And if you're a member, get that newsletter out. And where are you going to get this money from? Here you go. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall and State House Authority. And the key words you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. It's as simple as that. There are 3 musts. You must get applications on file everywhere. You must reach out to all 6 places, and you must get multiple rounds. Now, a multiple round means if you got a round early this year, get another round today. If you got a round yesterday, get a round today. You don't have to overlap the months. So, for example, let's say you got a round yesterday for October, November, December from one organization. Get another round today for January, February, March. Do the same thing for mortgage assistance. Here's utilities. Reach out to all utility companies, and wow, it has gone up a lot. Mark had gotten this amount. His brother-in-law got then $15,000. Again, you can say utility assistance because of COVID. Snap. Get it from Department of Agriculture. It's incredible. And what is it? It's money for food. If you got a third stimulus check, why are you paying for your own food? Get it from Department of Agriculture, and boy, it's a lot. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year. Over 10 years, it's $250,000. Get combos, at least 3 items or more. Started by Nisi and Art Sullivan. Here's Nisi. She had gotten 3. I said, get 3 like Nisi and Art. Here was Mark at 2 items, 32. I said, Mark was your third. He got his third. Brought him to $50,000. Now Mark has gotten more items. It brought him to $100,000. Lorraine, she was at 105. Now she's at 120. Normally in these recordings, I would go over your success stories. Bring them to me on air. Bring them to me by private message, social media. I'll feature them later this week as things settle down. But here's what you need to know, is that this is a very, very simple concept. The concept is the following. You have a wad of cash in your wallet, which is the rent money. Let's say it's $1,000, and you're about to give it to the landlord. But then out of nowhere, someone else says, I'll pay the rent for you. Then that wad of cash stays in your wallet. You don't have to use it for the rent. And guess what? You can use it for holiday gifts. And let's say you reach out to utility companies and said, I have the wad of cash for the utility bill in my wallet. The utility company says, no, you don't have to pay it because this organization paid for it. Then you don't have to take out that wad of cash. You can put it to holiday meals. This is how we create financial independence. We've been doing this since day one on this channel. So get these incredible sums of money. Now let's turn to the incredible inspirational story that comes from Johnny. 3-part story. Part 1 of Johnny's story started several weeks ago. He was listening to the videos, and by the early part of this week, he had $0. By Wednesday, he had $45,000 for 3 programs. But he heard my recordings where I said, keep on getting other sums of money. Other programs approved. He did. By the end of the week, he had 7 programs approved. To get 7 programs approved, he had to have made 15 phone calls because you're going to have about a 50% rejection rate. So that's why I like part 1 of the story. By the end of the week, he had $80,000 for 7 programs. Incredible, great news. Now, part two of his story came the following Monday. He reached out to his two family members and said, hey, I got $8,000 last week from LA. They said, I've heard about him. What they help you with? Third stimulus. They said, Johnny, I haven't heard about this on broadcast media. He said, they don't cover it. This channel you're watching right now is the number 3 most watched financial news network in the nation, broadcast or internet. Now, as to geopolitical news, it's number 1. And if you saw the dramatic development details that came in with Joe Manchin the last 2 days, did you see any of those networks ever cover these checks? Ever cover any of this stuff? No, they don't cover it. So this is why you stay laser focused on this channel, because I cover all the incredible details. Part 3 is incredible. Johnny's story came in 3 weeks ago. He reached out to me, said, hey, LALATE, I have great news. People kept on reaching out to me, hearing what I was doing. They said, can you help me too? I said, sure. So collectively together, this is Johnny talking, and the friends kept coming over. We would watch the videos, subscribe, become members, watch the videos, talk about them, and I'd show them how to do it. I helped 32 people. I said, wow, Johnny, 32 people. How much money do you get them collectively? He says, $850,000. You can do this as well, my friends. So go right on this video right now and become a member. Sign up for that membership link under this video to get that incredible newsletter that comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system. The incredible membership newsletter features the big money in third stimulus and how you get it. First, it features the 6 places you reach out to covered in this video. It features the 3 musts. It also features the keywords you say. Meantime, it features stuff not covered in the video, like the 5 nonprofits. What do the 5 nonprofits pay for? What is the eligibility? What are the items they pick up for? Then it also features the 1 nonprofit that pays for home repairs. It also features the important statement from Treasury you want to read before reaching out to get that money, because it explains that items across the board. It's important to get these sums of money right now. Why? Because overnight, the CDC and Dr. Fauci indicated that since Thanksgiving, when I first debuted the new issuance of a variant identified out of South Africa called Omicron, it has gone from 3% of United States cases last week to over 70% of U.S. cases today. It is ravaging out of control. There's a lack of clarity right now if 2 doses is sufficient, and there's a lack of clarity as to whether 2 doses and a booster is completely sufficient, and what efficiency either of them are across the board. For now, you need to get that booster shot ASAP. But also, you need to get that third stimulus right now. So pick up the phone and get that money from these offices this week. They're open this week. And with that, let's go back into the incredible programs of that fourth stimulus. And we left off at the housing provision. So the 3 that are new are the home repairs that live in a low-income community, the first-time home purchases, this money given to the seller in your name by the federal government during escrow, and finally, the weatherize your home. This is like home repairs. This is like the roof and the glass to sustain natural disasters. They got in there the $550 check for the Pell Grant for my college students. They got in there $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. That is incredibly great news. And then they got in there $65 per month when the student is not in school for nutrition, which brings us to one of the best provisions, entire recon, is the cheaper medication. Wow, this is incredible. Day 1, 20 medications will be dramatically reduced. And boy, will they be reduced dramatically. They will grow to 30 medications in the year 2028. They are the most expensive medications: cancer, arthritis, diabetes, Medicare Part B, Medicare Part D. They cannot increase more than the rate of inflation, and they will increase from 20 to 30 medications in the next 7 years. Wow. Now you look at this graphic, $15,000 of checks. No, it's a lot more. Remember, as I said earlier in this video, the senators haven't added in their checks at all yet. So this is just the House checks. But even these House checks look a lot more than $15,000 because they got everything for third stimulus repeating. That's $45,000. Then the $15,000. Then the Senate add-ons. We're clearly over $50,000 of checks in this fourth stimulus recon before we even get to the potential MSCs being added in there. What other provisions are in this recon? So they also have in there the universal pre-kindergarten. They have a series of, we have the Pell Grant, the nutrition, and also the housing. But there's a series of provisions that are likely to expire from third stimulus, and they're going to have to rewrite them as new bodies of law. They are the CTC now, the child tax credit, the care checks, and also the earned income tax credit. And with that, I have more commentary about that in the final 5 minutes of this video, but let's take a detour for just a second over to student loan debt forgiveness. There's an offer on the table to forgive $10,000 of student loan debt. The Democrats should take it. The president has previously done other student loan debt forgiveness across the board. And what is this? This would be $10,000 for everyone. After the president forgave student loan debts for individuals who became disabled after graduation, people went to work in the nonprofit sector, people went to work in the public sector after graduation. This stimulus, COLA raise, and your SNAP, everything you need to know and have been asking. Let me go over all the details starting right now. First, your SNAP went up 25% starting the month of October, average overall. But COLA has been announced at 5.9%. That means that everyone's benefits January 1 are going up 5.9%. You don't have to do anything. It's automatic. Your benefits are income. And as your income goes up, your SNAP will go down. That's the way SNAP works. So understand your SNAP will go down. It will go down more than COLA is going up. Now, FIS stimulus comes in right behind it. FIS stimulus seeks to fix the situation by raising your benefits up even more one time, then apply a new benchmark. Inflation starting in December 2022, that will be at least 2 to 3%. And then remove the asset cap, remove the income cap, and remove the marriage penalty. And love is going to win, and you're going to be marrying your long-time love interest. Before I go into my final commentary of what's going on with this recon, let me go over what I believe is going to be happening as well with the Federal Reserve and Omicron. So it was less than a week ago when the Federal Reserve had its final meeting of 2021. And Jay Powell said, this is without Omicron being a factor. Boy, it was that same week where I said, it was this week before where I said, I don't think Omicron's a factor at the moment. So I don't see the Fed changing its policy. So what did the Federal Reserve say? I'm not going to announce interest rate spikes yet or rises yet until we're finished tapering, but we're going to do faster tapering. My prediction, come January, the Federal Reserve is going to slow the tapering. Why? The data out of CDC, the data out of hospitals, the data out of states shows that one, Omicron has the fastest spreading variant we've ever had to date. Number two, it has gone from 3% of all cases to 70% of cases in 1 week. Number three, the worst situation will manifest itself starting in January because it takes a few days to get affected. It takes a few days to realize you're sick. Then it takes a few days to go in the hospital, and then a few days until that hospital data filters out. So we're going to see the worst situation in January when the Federal Reserve would likely react in February or March. So this, meantime, is already impacting the economy. Travel and leisure falling in some places, although travel is out of control, with Miami-Dade Airport reporting its highest travel this week in nearly in a generation, which is just I don't know what people are thinking. Then the certain industries are already hurting as well. And you're already seeing a lot of businesses, mom and pops, being impacted across the board. This is going to resonate to lack of growth in this economy, February, March, and potentially April. And it may reflect in the next economic data that comes out in January. So I think the Federal Reserve is going to come in and slow on the tapering because this non-factor is now a factor and a bigger factor than anyone would have predicted. And with that, let me go into my commentary, the final minutes of this video, with what I expect to happen with Joe Manchin and the president. And I may even jump in the live chat with you. And first, let me give you the rundown on a new show coming to this channel. Tonight at 3:45 p.m., I encourage you to tune in. After Afternoon to LA, it will take you right into that show. What is the new show? Debuting in preview. It's not actually the full show. It's a preview, a test of the show. This channel will be launching itself as a 24-hour live news network for financial news. And the show will test tonight at 3:45. Normally at 3:45, you see the Overnight Crypto show. Instead of Overnight Crypto, you will see the overnight feed of that show, which tonight will be an encore performance of the brand new Afternoon to LA show that tapes tonight. In its future format, when this rolls out formally, it will probably be the evening show because it'll start in the evening and roll to the next morning. People have been asking for it. There's no competition for it. It would blow out the whole industry. You have never seen anything like it. There is no financial news channel that is delivering a 24-hour live stream out there like this, or even in the ballpark of it anywhere. And I think I want you along for the ride. Actually, I really want you along for the ride. So I ask you deeply to tune in to the live show, which tentatively will be called LALATE Live, which will debut tonight in the normal slot of Overnight's Crypto. And it'll be only tonight, I believe, as a tester to see how the reaction is. It'll be about this. It'll be about financial news. And it will play for upwards of about 12 hours into the new day in which it refreshes as a new show. Very, very, very exciting. And with that, let's go into the commentary about what's happening with the recon. So with the recon, I believe that the president has had some missteps in the last week, and I hope that the errors that are there are fixed. That's my number one concern. My concern is not Joe Manchin. My concern is not Chuck Schumer or Jalopal. My concern is the president. Here's what issue. Number one, the president of the United States decided that he would be the chief negotiator. He's not in the legislative branch. He's the executive branch. But he decided to make himself a senator in this equation to negotiate with the other senators. And if you want to do it, then do it the right way. He's not doing it the right way. And I'll tell you why. Number one, he's allowing all his Democratic caucus members to run out to broadcast media and have 5 other versions of how to do this in January in the last few hours. We have Jalopal saying we're not going to negotiate with Manchin. We have Nancy saying we're not removing anything for Joe Manchin. We have Chuck saying we will modify stuff for Joe Manchin and we'll call the vote and we'll negotiate this out and figure it out. We'll modify it for Joe Manchin. That's 3 different people right there. They need to all zip it. And the president needs to come in and say, zip it. I'm telling you how we do it, and we do it my way. There's 2 dichotomies here. Trump, Biden. Trump was portrayed often as an oligarch, a dictator, who would come in and say, I'm doing it my way, you're doing it my way, Steve Mnuchin. I don't care what you want to say, Steve Mnuchin. I don't want to hear what you want to say, Mark Meadows. We're doing it my way, the Donald Trump way. And people would portray that as an oligarch, a dictator, and just a tyrant. In some cases it was, because there were some places where he didn't do things right, and he would not listen, and he messed them up. On the other side, we have Joe Biden, who is literally letting everyone run the show. Can't do that. You can't do that if you are the lead guy on the recon. He's letting Jalopal and Bernie and Chuck and Nancy all have different versions of how to deal with the situation. And guess what? It looks like a mess. And it is a mess. And it has no path forward. He needs to rope it in and say, no, this is how we're doing it. And he has to rope it in with his staff as well. His staff is all over the board. Let's turn to that staff. Joe Manchin and the staff. I got a lot to say about Joe Manchin's staff. First of all, what he's clearly doing is Joe Manchin's trying to portray himself as the victim. He's not the victim here. And he's trying to do this passive-aggressive game like he's on The Real Housewives of West Virginia. It ain't going to work, and it looks really silly. Like him saying, I don't like people protesting when I'm driving my car. You're a politician. You're a politician, Joe Manchin. I mean, if you don't like it, don't become a politician. I mean, you want people protesting, you're an elected official. People protest you. So zip it yourself. But if there's issues with staffers, the president should take the staffers out of the equation. Remove the staffers from this assignment. Remove them from this assignment. Get them away. I don't like that the teal monster, I don't like the press secretary went after Joe Manchin in the manner in which she did. I'm going out of focus here. Hi, how are you? Can you see me? Let's try it this way. I don't like how the teal monster, the press secretary, really went after Joe Manchin. That needs to stop. Joe Manchin says people are trying to beat me up in the White House. Well, whether they are, they aren't. Whether he's trying to make himself as a victim, they are being too heavy-handed. Again, mixed message. You can be all heavy-handed, or you can be all comforting and negotiating, or you can all be, I don't care what you would say, Joe Manchin. White House can't change by the hour, and it's doing that. The president gets along really well with Joe Manchin. They chatted on Sunday. They'll chat again. Joe Manchin despises certain staff members. Okay, get them away. Get them away from this. He thought he could trust Pramila Jayapal. He called her up to talk this through, and she went after him in the press. That doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good. So my concern is the White House. Next concern with the White House is that guy, that gal. I think I know who they are. I think you know who they are. But there's some persons in the White House who are playing games. And when you call the vote, they're going to be exposed. If they aren't already been exposed on this channel for the last 6 months. They are the people who want the child tax credit to pay $3,600 over 20 years, $60,000 to a child, and never give you a darn penny if you're a senior. I don't know where they woke up having this infatuation of sending out checks every single day for 20 years to young little children. I don't know where it started, and it needs to stop. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this language game. There's language games. They've been playing this recon for many, many months, and we all know it. We all know that they wanted generational. They wanted this, the New Deal. They wanted the best thing since the Eisenhower and the 1940s. They all wanted that. They ain't gonna get it. So get on with your lives and understand it's a 1-year program, and then move to the next program after that. Climate. I all agree. Climate should never have been in there. I have a real problem with the climate. I'll tell you what the problem with the climate is. I think I said maybe, I don't remember. Is that the climate is supposed to represent the United States' position on climate. If it represents just the Democrats shoving it down the throats of the Republicans, that doesn't represent the United States policy on climate. Climate doesn't fit by recon. We're supposed to show ourselves as a country that's solving the situation of climate. If we're not solving it, then we don't solve it together. I don't know why climate should go by recon. Take it out, it's $550 billion. Next, these MSCs. I mean, this MSC is starting to get ridiculous. You want people to have money. Send out an MSC. I mean, what is the problem with you folks? Send out an MSC, because guess what? You want the kids to have the check. They don't have a bank account, the kids. They're 2 years old. You're sending it to the parents. Send it as an MSC. I mean, I don't understand what the problem is. MSC fixes the Joe Manchin problem, which the guardian ad litem gets a check, or the grandparent takes a check. The MSC fixes the problem. The paid leave, you can't work for 4 weeks this year. You can't work for 4 weeks this year? Well, guess what? If we sent out 6 months of checks, you wouldn't have that problem. This is sort of like obvious, isn't it? It's just like obvious 101. $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for 6 months. Send it out for 6 months. I don't want to hear you have to have paid leave for 4 weeks. I sent you 6 months of checks. I don't understand why they don't think this obvious. People say, run for president. You do things so obvious. You have street smarts. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's Columbia and New York City versus Yale and New Haven. I don't know what it is. But I mean, people got a check every single month for 6 months. And it's this year. It's the middle of the pandemic. We have the pandemic ravaging and blah, 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 and all that, and the economic distress and whatever. I have to take off because I got sick. I don't want to hear the problem. I don't want to hear your problem. I just sent you a $2,000 check this month. You can go get that check. Well, it's not enough. Well, then adjust the MSC and make the MSC more. I mean, it's so obvious. I can't believe our running time. 52 minutes. So finally, 2 ways to get more money for third stimulus. First, go back and look at the utilities you didn't get paid for, you didn't get money for under third stimulus. Get that other utility. Next, get initial round by doing months you never did. So if you did November, December, January for rent, go get February, March, April from another organization. Go get other months from other organizations. Get as much money. And I'm so glad I'm on point with you with this. I'm so glad you're doing so well with this, because guess what? Things are running out. We're going back into that we're running out of stuff situation. The ability to get booster shots, appointments are running out. The ability to get vaccination, the ability to get COVID tests, just a COVID test. They can't get the COVID test out, running out, or there's long lines. Things are running out again. So please get this money now. Make the effort, become a member. Meantime, join me next for yeah, we can do it. Morning's Crypto, live on, well, no, I don't know what it'll be, but at least join me at 11 a.m. for Holidays LA. It'll be live on air. I'll figure out if I come on air before then. Figure out the running time. But at least 10 a.m. I'll see you live on air on noontime. And with that, subscribe. I want you part of the global family. Hit that subscribe button. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and please tune into that new show tonight. It's called LALATE Live. It's testing tonight. It won't be running every day this week or even this month. It's a tester show. And it starts tonight at 3:45 p.m. right after the second afternoon show. And with that, I want you part of the global family. Subscribe, like this video, and have a beautiful morning. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful day, and stay with LA for more.